is you begin to realize you have more capacity to do things in a day. Welcome back, gentlemen. So in this video, I thought I would give you some stone cold value in respects to how to mitigate any relapsing in PMO, which stands for porn, masturbation, and orgasm, through my experience of supporting many clients. Perhaps my clients might be watching, but I thought I would share some stories, naming no names, and some insight into how I can proceed to go forward on this journey of maybe celibacy, semen retention, or just getting rid of a filthy habit, with some ideas, which I'm going to talk about three, which there are usually one out of these three that is really causing the issue. And once you gain the insight or you do some of the actions around these particular issues, then you shouldn't have any problems moving forward without porn, masturbation, and orgasm in your life. Well, maybe orgasming with a partner isn't too bad, but let's move forward, gents. So the first one is not transmuting your energy. Now, sexual energy transmutation is always fraught with a lot of esoteric connotations. And most of the questions I get is, Joseph, what do you mean sexual energy transmutation? This sounds very airy-fairy and esoteric. And essentially what it means is using your sexual energy, using your energy, for your life force energy to fuel other productive habits. So, it's not always steeped in meditation. It can be an outlet, but essentially it is creating a new avenue for this energy to be expressed. We need to understand fundamentally that it takes an enormous amount of energy for the human body to create sexual fluid. In fact, it prioritizes this sexual fluid, our reproductive energy, because it has to serve the prime directives of eating to sustain the individual and having sex to sustain the future of the human race. So it's always going to prioritize those two things. Interesting fact is, once you're fasting, sexual urges are very, very low. In fact, if ever you get sexual urges, because you need to sustain the individual. And then once you've eaten after extended fast, then you begin to feel those urges once again. Now, once you realize that you're no longer taxing yourself in this respect and you're conserving the sexual energy and not being wasteful wasteful with the energy, the number one things my client experiences are increased energy. So to be more specific, less time recovering, so less time sleeping. That's the first thing that you'll notice. After 7 days, you won't need as much sleep. In fact, I say it's about an hour of sleep less that you need, because your body no longer needs to recover from this taxing process. Now, once you experience this increase in energy, the next question you need to ask yourself is, well, what do I do with this energy? And this is why I believe it's the most important aspect or benefit, you could say, of, let's say, semen retention, is you begin to realize you have more capacity to do things in a day. So the number one complaint, I think, of the modern Western man, and maybe even modern Western woman as well, is there's not enough hours in a day. How am I supposed to exercise after I've finished a 9-hour shift at work? How am I supposed to read more books? How am I supposed to start on my side business? This is the answer right here. The reason why you're tired, fatigued, drained is because you've been wasting this crucial element of the human experience. So you need to find a room to move that sexual energy in these more productive tasks. So it could be, which I think is the greatest area of transmutation, is strenuous exercise. I'm not talking half an hour at the gym, on your phone lifting, one dumbbell. I'm talking about strength training, high weight, low reps that really taxes your nervous system. Earn your rest when you're going to exercise. I also think it's important to facilitate this into long endurance tasks. And this is minimum 30 minutes of aerobic activity. So you've heard the term exercise for transmutation, but hard exercise, difficult exercise. You have the capacity to do this now with that additional energy. You should be going to bed tired. And that is how you know you've done it correctly. If you're sitting at home sedentary, watching TV, scrolling on your phone, it just makes the energy very stale, very stagnant. So sexual energy is very, very volatile. It's very, very potent. And, if you're not using it to facilitate growth, goals in your life, then it will end up using you and you'll go back to old patterns. So that's number one, and it's a big one. So step number 2 is poor environment. So you have to remember your environment will set the tone for your actions and subsequently your habits, which will precede that. I highly encourage my clients whenever they're going about this journey is to make a drastic change in their environment. And this could be from the room they're in, such as their office. You can see me in my office now. Rearrange it in a way that's more productive, or that sets a new tone, sets a new intention. Change your bedroom, maybe change where your bed is, or if you've got, wardrobe, change it around to signal to yourself that you're starting something new, a new chapter in your life that is free of the clutches of some of this degenerate material. It could be you change your devices, you get a new computer, you change your desktop, you change your browser. I've had clients had a lot of success just by changing their browser on their phones and on their laptops, because it sets a new intention. I'm no longer going to be using DuckDuckGo to facilitate some of my degenerate habits. No, I'm going to start off fresh. I'm going to start off clean. Removing social media from your phone, or putting time management software on there that limits the amount you're allowed to scroll and browse. Limit the provocative material that you're likely to engage with. If it's on Twitter, if it's on Instagram, if it's on TikTok, these social media's outlets aren't always conducive to a healthy state of mind, and will likely bring you back into a emotionally compromised position. So certainly limit the time that you are spending on these kinds of materials. Also think about your physical environment in terms of changing it up. If you work from home, can you work from a library, or can you work from a coffee shop, which I do very, very frequently. And it also keeps you moving. When you're sat still in your chair at your desk for a long, long time, this energy begins to get stale and stagnant, like we mentioned before. So can you get up? Can you go for a walk? Can you do something physical? Can you stretch? I have a little, I'm not sure if you can see it here, a little stretching bioenergetic stool that helps me move that energy out. So motion creates emotion. And if you find yourself bored and you're starting to move into the energy of desire, move. Get into your body and out of your head. This is the most important thing. And then last but not least, gentlemen, is reverse engineering your relapse. So whenever I get a new client, the first steps are to talk about the last relapse, how it happened, when it happened, where it happened, and all the other facts that might come into play. And then we start taking it step by step, backwards till we get to the root cause. And 9 times out of 10, in fact, I'm confident to say 10 times out of 10, it usually happens because some kind of negative emotion has gripped them. And it could be anything from their boss asked them to stay late at work, which makes them angry, or they're bored at home on a Sunday afternoon and they're experiencing loneliness, or they're scrolling again on Instagram and they come across some kind of provocative material that makes them feel lustrous or desire. And all of these negative emotions, so they're lower emotions. A good reference is Dawkins's consciousness hierarchy. The book Letting Go is a good one for that. And all of these negative emotions usually stem from fear. So anger, that's the fear of maybe feeling inferior. Loneliness, fear of not being loved. Desire, fear of not having. So desire is a sense of being incomplete. So whenever you're feeling the emotion of desire, lust, horniness, whatever you want to call it, allure, you're communicating to yourself the sense of incompleteness, that I don't have positive emotions. I don't have that dopamine hit that I would like, that would make me feel more complete. And then if you boil this down to the stem of the things, you find out that the emotions are a separate entity unto yourself. And I always tell my clients, if you can have the presence of mind in these experiences to notice that you are just that, experiencing desire, that you're not desire itself, then that detachment is the perfect place for you then to make an action on whether or not it's acting on desire or acting out of something stronger like courage, acceptance, hope, will, enlightenment. And if you can consciously come back to that place of recognizing I'm not letting desire run me, but I'm letting some of these other positive emotions run me, you can then move that energy into motion, into having a cold shower, going for a run, going to the gym, meditating even. If you're an experienced meditator, you know how profound it is to start to move some of this emotional energy, this energetic energy within you. Even I say to my clients, listening to your favorite song and having a dance can be really, really effective. And it's first having this insight and presence of mind to understand that there is a separate thing, you, the witness or the experiencer of your emotions, and then the emotion themselves. Allow them to happen out of their own fruition. They're not in their self evil or negative, but they can have a catastrophic impact on your life if you allow anger to run you, if you allow desire to run you. I mean, we all experience desire when we see a beautiful woman in the gym or on the streets, but we don't act upon them, especially if we're already spoken for. So gentlemen, I hope this insight allows you to act from a place of detachment, which is the number one thing. Also, screen your environment. Think about the things in your environment that aren't being conducive to your highest vision. And then also, think about your transmutative practices. Am I moving that powerful energy into the tasks that will fuel where I want to go? This is a gift, guys. This is how we were supposed to live. We were supposed to live with, brimming and vibrant with this energy that powers our day and fuels our aspirations, not to sit and constantly use it for self-gratification purposes. So hopefully this gives you something to meditate on deeply. And if you subscribe to whatever I've said, you can subscribe to me. Now I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Take care.